Hello, everyone, and welcome to this webinar introducing our ReExt contest, the ability to build a React app with ReExt. We are going to go through the details of how you can sign up, where some of the contest rules are, everything that you need to know to get started. My name is Mark Guzmano. I'm a sales engineer at Sencha, and I am also the primary person involved in building ReExt. So certainly, if you have questions about ReExt or would like more details, please let me know, and I'd be happy to discuss that with you. So the ReExt contest is the ability for you to showcase your React development skills by building an application that uses the ReExt components. If you have not been introduced to ReExt, I will briefly talk about what it is and how it relates to our Sencha Ext JS product and how you can acquire it, things like that. The contest itself has you building something that we will judge, and we will award prizes first, second, and third, and we'll talk about what those prizes are very shortly here. So before we get started talking about the contest, let's talk a little bit about ReExt. What is it? It's essentially a React library for the Sencha Ext JS components. It is a very simple library. It's just one component with 5 props and event props that will describe all the events that a particular component would have. It uses the X-type prop to expose all of the Ext.js components. So on the screen, you can see an example of a ReExt button. So it's the ReExt component, X-type button. If you wanted a grid, it'd be X-type grid. It's essentially all the X-types that are available in Ext.js. Then if you want to configure that ReExt component, there's a config prop. And in this particular example, we have a text config and a width config. And then there are several events that you can respond to. The ready event is just when the component is ready, and then any events that are part of that component. In the case of a button, on click makes sense, and then you do what you need to do. To get introduced to ReExt, you can go to the public NPM page for ReExt, and ReExt is at Sencha/ReExt. So this is the public NPM page, and you can use this page to get started. It's got examples, it's got some of the documentation. So this is a good place to get introduced to ReExt. We also have a page on Sencha.com. So www.sencha.com/products/ReExt. And that's this page here. So this can get you started. You can start a trial. You can do a little bit of research on what ReExt is. So you can see here, there's quite a bit here to kind of get you started and get you introduced to ReExt. So that's the product, and that's the subject of the contest. So the contest itself is, as I mentioned, a contest for you to build an application, a ReExt application, and by default, a React application. And we'll discuss what some of the criteria are, what we're going to be looking for when we judge the entries. We'll talk about how you get started, where you communicate back to us the actual application that we can review. All those things we'll cover. This ReExt contest page, by the way, is available from a link at the top of the Sencha.com page. So you can see here, build React apps and win. And then here, this little green link will take you to the ReExt contest info and sign up page. So as I said, we're making this contest a contest where we are going to judge it, and we're going to give out prizes. First prize is $2,000. second prize 750, and third prize 250. So we're trying to give you some incentive to join the contest, to give us some of your great work that showcases ReExt. If you look at this page where the ReExt contest is introduced with the contest form, a lot of the details of what you need to know are available. Certainly fill out the form and submit it. This will send you an email with even further information. But if you scroll down this page, you've basically got details of the contest. First off, what the prizes are. Secondly, the dates that are a part of the contest. So you can see here, the contest technically started November 7th. So we're well into the contest itself. We're going to go from November 7th to February 7th, 2025. So give you a couple plus months to get your entry all squared away. You must submit your entry by February 7th, and I'll show you the Google form that we've created so you can submit it. We'll then take those submissions, review them. Our voting period will be the 11th through the 14th of February 2025. And then we'll make an announcement. We'll make the announcement of the winners February 19th, 2025. So those are the dates that you should keep in mind and start working towards. We've also added the ReExt video to kind of give you further introduction to what ReExt is all about. I'll let you watch that at your leisure. And so what are the steps to participate? First thing, of course, is to sign up. And sign up is this registration screen that I've talked about already. So get that done first. Then certainly you want to download ReExt. You can download a free trial. It will take you to the ReExt page. You could fill out this for a trial of ReExt, and the instructions for how to get started are on the README page or on the starting page of the ReExt NPM package. We also have documentation. I'll point you to that in a bit, that basically tells you similar things and how to get started, how to use the components, etc. As a matter of fact, that's what's highlighted here in step 3. If we take a look at the ReExt documentation, it's under docs.sencha.com, just like where all the other documentation is. We've got the introduction, getting started, how you acquire ReExt. You could possibly use the ReExt Designer, which is something we're building. It's a preview version, and then it gives you some getting started, etc. So this is a great place to kind of get you going. And then how to create a ReExt project is essentially creating a React application. So you'll go through all those steps as well. So let's go back to our contest page and talk a little bit about the criteria. So we have a set of guidelines. I'm going to point you to where all of that is in a bit here. The way we're going to judge these is we're going to give 40% on adherence to the guidelines that we specify. So obviously the biggest guideline is your application must include ReExt. It is indeed the ReExt contest, but also a few other things that we'll highlight. We'll look at how creative your entry is. What you build is completely up to you, but the more creative, the more interesting it will be for us in our judging. How easy to use the application is. We're looking for modern applications that use intuitive techniques, and again, we leave that all to you, how you might want to present your application. And then we'll also look at anything additional you might do. And again, we don't want to constrict you to only a certain type of application. Whatever you feel best expresses your development talents and your ability to use ReExt, we're looking at that. To give you a few ideas, we've got a few screenshots here of CRM type applications, portals, maybe some sort of a dashboard. Typically, when using ReExt and the Ext JS components, they're very data centric. So the use of tabs and grids and charts and visualizations is really a plus when building your entry for the contest. But again, just a few examples that maybe get you sparked, your ideas sparked. And then down here is a little bit of eligibility rules. And I'm not going to go through all these in detail. You can certainly read these. We've talked a little bit about some of the requirements, ReExt components, a modern design. We are looking for a minimum of 3 navigations, 3 screens, maybe some custom styling. But again, be as creative as you want to be. Certainly, we will look very favorably as a bonus on using the advanced components, the enterprise components within Ext JS, things like the data visualization with D3, the pivot grid, maybe some advanced charting. We have a calendar component. We have a lot of components. So, feel free to use whatever you might want to use. If you want to really get to all the terms and conditions, all the legalese, we've got a link here to the ReExt Contest terms and conditions. So again, I'm not going to read all of this to you, but you have it available to you. If you have a question on it, certainly ask the question in the questions box for GoToWebinar today, or contact us to let us know what questions you have. I will be available. Others will be available to get you whatever answers you may need. Your entry, once you've completed it, needs to be submitted, and the entry submission is via this Google form. So you'll have a link to this from the email you get. There's a link in the terms and conditions. This is basically telling us how we access your application so that we can review it, so that we can judge it, and hopefully get you one of the prizes. So simple information, full name, address, and then down here, these are probably the things we need the most, although all of these things are required. Your GitHub repository link. So we're asking that you put all of the source code for what you build into a GitHub repository. GitHub is a free resource. You may want to make it a private resource or a private repository. If you do that, we need access to it. So hello@sencha.com is our access point. So you would just want to give at least read access to that repository to hello@sencha.com. That'll allow us to take a look at the source code. If you put the URL out live somewhere, which we strongly suggest you do, provide us the link so we can take a look at the application in action. And then we just want a little brief description. We do want to understand the technology stack that you're using. Obviously, you're using React and you're using ReExt, but if there are other things that are interesting or other integrations that you're doing that you feel we should know about, please enter them here. And then, of course, I've already mentioned the terms and conditions. So that pretty much walks you through most of what you need to know for the contest. This page is available, as I said, from the Sencha.com homepage. So just click on it and come through here and read all of that. I think these slides pretty much summarize the things that I've talked about already. This one slide is very important. These are the dates to keep in mind. You can enter the contest today. You need to submit your entry by February 7th, 2025. We'll vote 11th through the 14th and then announce the winner a couple days later on the 19th. Again, to participate, you saw that list. You want to initially sign up. So there's actually 2 processes. There's the initial sign up so that we know you're participating. And then there's the submission when you're finished with your entry. So keep that in mind. Sign up now, submit by February 7th. You have a full range of resources. You have the NPM package documentation. We have docs.sencha.com. There is a sample app that showcases a lot of the capabilities of ReExt. If you want to talk to one of us, please let us know. We'd love to help you. And then we look forward to that submission in February. So be creative, as I said, for what you're going to build. It doesn't necessarily have to be a data-centric business application, but that's typically what's built with ReExt and the Ext JS components. So probably a good thing to include some of that in your application. The more modern it is, the more responsive it is, the more custom features you have, the more favorably we'll look at your entry. And again, we've got a few requirements. Really the first one is the most important. You have to use ReExt components and make it robust enough so that we get a good feel for what you're trying to build. That's why we suggest a minimum of 3 screens. The more modern the styling is, the more appealing it will be to us judges. And as I mentioned, you have access with the trial of ReExt to the entire set of components from Ext JS, including the enterprise components, and take advantage of them. Put a pivot table in, do some really interesting visualizations. Take advantage of our calendaring component, whatever makes sense in your entry, but utilize as many things as you feel you want to in the application. So as far as the contest goes, it's open to participants 18 years or older. There are some restrictions which are noted in some of the legalese documentation, so make note of that. Again, there isn't a lot I'm going to go through in detail on that. So that's the contest. We're very excited about getting this thing going. We're excited to hear from you guys and gals about what you're going to build, and we look forward to interacting with you during the contest period. So what I want to do now is see if we have any questions. Please, as I mentioned before, go ahead and type your questions into the GoToWebinar question panel, and we'll take those as we get them. And certainly if you have follow-up questions, just let us know later and we'll be able to answer those. So with that, I'm going to turn it back and see if we have any questions.
Thank you, Mark. My name is Raj. I'm the marketing manager at Sencha. Now let's move on to Q&A sessions. If you have any questions, please type them into the chat and we will address them as many we can. Let's take your first question.
Yep.
There was a context right there on our landing page. Make sure your app includes ReExt components. Outline the contest guidelines. What are the contest guidelines?
What are the contest guidelines?
Right. I think probably we might need to explain a little bit about what exactly the ReExt components to be part of, the app building.
All right. So probably the best place to go is this ReExt Contest landing page. As you can see here, there are links here to specific areas. Raj, where do you think we should go here? Is it the judging criteria? Or,
sure.
Yep.
Yeah, what you can build, what can you build? So that's the real question right here is, they must ask to use the ReExt components. That is what the question here.
Okay, yep. Well, the submission requirements are these eligibility rules right here. And I've touched upon them. Yeah, certainly ReExt components, hopefully more than one. And beyond that, it's just creative elements. Certainly data integration is a very positive thing because that's, again, the kind of application that's typically built with ReExt. Any sort of custom styling or custom animation or responsive capabilities in the application is certainly very, very positive. Use our examples.sencha.com for ideas if that's helpful to you. And then, as I mentioned more than a few times here, we are really excited about seeing some of the enterprise components being used. So this is really the set of guidelines, the set of rules that we're going to use to judge your application.
That's great. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
The next question, my ReExt 30-day free trial has expired. How can I extend it?
Okay. Yep. Good question. So yeah, the ReExt trial is a 30-day trial. At the end of the 30 days, it will expire. But for this contest, we will go ahead and extend that. So either get a hold of your sales rep or one of us, and we have the mechanisms to be able to extend the life of any trial. So just get a hold of us and we'll take care of that.
And they also can send an email to hello@sencha.com for any questions or extend the license. We're happy to help it over.
So hello@sencha.com is actually an email that we'll monitor, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So yeah, there you go. That's also another avenue.
Yeah, I mean, I think we just answered. I mean, we have had the similar question. The development period is 3 months, but the trial is only 30 days. Can we get a long trial? Of course, guys, you know, as long as you finish the application, you can send over. You don't have to wait for 3 months, right?
Right. And if any of you are customers, when you get ReExt, you're actually going to get the production version. And the production version obviously is not a trial. It doesn't have any of the watermarks, and it never expires. So if you're in that category and you acquire ReExt from NPM, you'll actually get it from our private NPM repository, which is logged onto with credentials you got when you got the license.
That's great. The next question, do data stores have external or can they be local or hard-coded?
Either one would work. You know, the more realistic the application is, I think the better. So if you can connect to an external store, and nowadays, you know, getting a free trial of, you know, some sort of a cloud-based database and a free trial to some place to host your application is pretty easy to do. Although that's not, you know, you don't have to do that. If you want to mock up data and have it, you know, more local, that's fine. We would prefer to see some more realistic applications. So real connections to real databases that you create would probably be preferred.
That's great. I know you have covered this earlier. The next question we have here, how do I submit my ReExt Contest app?
Yep. Yeah, again, you're going to enter the contest with this contest entry form today or whenever you decide to get started. And then when you are finished, you are going to actually submit your application to that Google form that I showed you in the terms and conditions. Raj, where else is that link to the Google form besides terms and conditions?
That was, you just go up a little bit up there.
Yeah.
Just, there was a 4 steps right at the top.
Here we go. So in this how to participate section, register is here, obviously the thing you're going to do now. The download is here, resources links are here, and then the Google form is right here. So by February 7th, basically go to the Google form and submit your entry so that we have all the data that we need to be able to evaluate it. The GitHub repository, a link to the actual running application, things like that.
Awesome. All right, that wraps up our presentation for today.
Great. Well, we're very excited and looking forward to everybody signing up. Keep us in mind if you have questions or if you want to explore things that you're trying to do. We'd love to help, and we look forward to judging this thing in February. So thank you all very much, and we hope to talk to you soon.
That's awesome. Thank you. Best of the luck with the contest. Exciting prizes to win.
Yep, exactly. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.